We've reached the end of our study in the Ten Commandments, and we've covered a lot of territory, spiritual priorities, religious practice, private and communal ethics. These things regulate our external behavior, but this last command, while it follows a similar form, you shall not, it is distinctly different. It's not about behavior, it's about our desires. Specifically wanting things that don't belong to us. We might say, how could this be wrong? How could we possibly be expected to control even our longings? Well, we'll see that what's in our hearts may actually be more important than our actions. Let me read Exodus 20, verse 17. You shall not covet, desire, long for your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or his male and female servant, his ox or donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. Now, we have a limited time here, but we can see certain kinds of categories of things that this longing for things that don't belong to us, that we feel like they can satisfy us. We can categorize them as property, power, and people. We feel like if we have these things, then our life will be better. Our life will be fulfilled. But actually, what the Lord is pointing out to us is that anything that we pursue as an ultimate thing, aside from Himself, is always unsatisfying because it's not meant to fulfill our deepest desires. Our deepest desires are for connection, meaning, and significance, and that comes from our connection to the divine. Having a nice car, a nice house, that can be a wonderful thing, but it will never ultimately satisfy, so we long for more and more and more. It becomes like an addiction. And as a colleague of mine who works in recovery programs with addicts once put it, he said, addiction is idolatry. And we can call it blasphemous, but ultimately we should recognize it as futile. Now, there's a less than serious movie that I think captures this really well. It's in Pirates of the Caribbean, and Captain Barbossa, who stole Jack Sparrow's ship and chased after Aztec gold, talks about his longing for it and the results of it.
There'd be the chest. Inside be the gold. We took them all. We spent them and traded them and frittered them away. Drink and food and pleasurable company. The more we gave them away, the more we came to realize the drink would not satisfy. Food turned to ash in our mouths, and all the pleasurable company in the world could not slake our lust. We accursed men, Miss Turner. Compelled by greed we were, but now we are consumed by it.
We see it so clearly there, the despair of pursuing satisfaction in the things of this life. And that's where covetousness leads. Death, an emptiness in this life. So what are we to do? Is there some remedy to our greed, our lusts, our covetousness? It's found in the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus, who loved us and gave Himself for us. Just to talk about it in the most cursory way, what are we longing for? What are we desiring? Do we feel inconsequential? Well, the Lord has chosen you. Do you feel condemned? The Lord in Christ's righteousness has justified you, vindicated you. Do you feel stained, ashamed? In Christ you are a new creation. There is resurrection life in you. Do you feel rejected? God adopts you and makes you belong to Him and to the family of God. Do you feel weak? He gives you the Spirit to empower you. Empower you. There is nothing that is not addressed in Christ's life, death, and resurrection. You can find full satisfaction in his grace, in his love. But will we? Will we believe it? Will we allow ourselves to be satisfied by the presence and love of God? This week, I want you to think about that. Will you chase after the things of the world that will not satisfy? Or will you be satisfied by what God gives? Blessings on you all.